Caitlin Clark's groin injury wasn't some random accident. It was the predictable outcome of months of increasingly physical play, the kind of contact officials consistently chose to overlook. Opposing players quickly realized they could push, grab, and hit Clark without facing any real consequences, while the referees remained silent and let it slide.
How did we get to an all-star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on.
Stephanie White has been sounding the alarm on this issue for months. The Indiana Fever head coach has openly criticized the inconsistent officiating, pointing out how Caitlin Clark faces a level of physicality that simply isn't allowed against other players in the league. White wasn't exaggerating. She's been watching her star player endure excessive contact game after game, while officials continue to turn a blind eye.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of physicality that they're able to play with against her. I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her learn to adjust and use it against them in certain ways. We've got to find some ways to make it a little bit easier for her. But the level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time.
Let's be honest about what's really been happening on the court. The Washington Post didn't hold back, calling out the consistently poor officiating that has turned far too many games into overly physical battles. They even joked that the league might as well swap its logo for a bruise and adopt "no call" as its official motto. And honestly, that's not far from how it's felt for fans watching these games unfold. If you're looking for specific examples, there are plenty. Opposing teams have been grabbing Caitlin Clark's arms, pushing her off screens, and fouling her on drives, all while the officials look the other way. Footage after footage shows the same pattern: physical play with no whistles. This has led to a dangerous trend where physically targeting Clark seems to have become a legitimate defensive strategy because the referees simply aren't stepping in to stop it.
And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark. And Aaliyah Boston, she's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls.